Good morning. Welcome to Disorder in the Court, where we love pro se defendants. I made a last minute decision to pop up this live to cover the pre-trial hearing of Robert Kellett, accused of the murder of a journalist in Las Vegas. The journalist in Las Vegas, his name was Jeff German. I have seen information about this case. It's quite interesting. Robert Tellis was an elected official. This reporter from the Las Vegas Journal was covering. Wow, that audio is horrible. Oh my goodness. Turn the audio way down. Let me know if you're having trouble hearing me while the court audio is on.
Which one's yours? This one? This one? I have no idea. This is technology. I'm not good with that.
So Robert is scheduled to start his trial next week. There have been many, many delays in this trial. Mostly because of discovery and, the usual types of delays, but also because he's a pro se defendant. He's representing himself. Now, this is a little bit different. His self-defense is a little bit different because he actually is a lawyer. But he's not a criminal defense lawyer. And looks like there are several other inmates in there ready to go for their pretrial hearings as well. Either that or they're there for some other purpose. That's my assumption. Please remember to hit the thumbs up as you come in. Thank you very much. So this trial should be interesting because, again, as I said, it will be pro se. This defendant is representing himself. He is a lawyer. He was an elected official. He has one of those egos that can barely fit through the door. You will see, I've watched him represent himself a couple other times in other hearings. He's quite confident in himself. And I personally, after seeing what I've seen, the background information on the case that I've seen, I feel as though the state has enough evidence to convict. But I'm open to hearing how this defendant defends himself. And I'm really interested. Hey, Stacy, nice to see you. How's work going? We have another pro se defendant, but this pro se defendant is different. He's a lawyer. He's not a criminal defense lawyer, though, and I looked up his background a while back. Some of the details are escaping me, but I don't think he really had like a big law practice. He didn't put much of his law degree to use, but when you're a lawyer, you have a little bit of a leg up on, other defendants who might try to represent themselves. However, there's this issue that overconfident people have, and that is that they think that they know better than everybody else. And definitely this guy suffers from that malady of he knows better than everybody else. He's more clever, he's more smart, he's to me, he appears as one of those types of people who basically entered into the professional world with a criminal mindset. That's the kind of person. And when you hear him talk, you kind of hear that side of him come out. He, kind of presents himself as very, kind of buttoned up, having, strong points of view and strong words. But a lot of the stuff that he actually says, oh no, I'm so sorry, Stacy. I'm sorry. Back issues are really debilitating. That's awful. Yes, having a body can be very exhausting. Let's see if we can hear anything in there. So oh, hey, Johnny. So the person that we're looking at, let me try to get my cursor there. Can you see my cursor? I'm circling the person. He is the defendant. And I just made a last minute decision to carry this pretrial hearing. I've been trying to stay on top of, when hearings are coming out for this trial and then when this actual trial is starting, and it keeps moving and keeps moving. And hey, Dynamite, I think it's hard for the court to keep up with keeping the public updated because there are so many changes. Okay, I'm sorry, Johnny. Johnny's regime is an asshole. Yes, Dynamite. This guy is he is a nut. He he reminds me of Rocket Man with a law degree, and I'm not kidding. So one of the interesting things about this case, so what's at issue is that the journalist from the Las Vegas Review Journal, who was a well-respected journalist. Hey, Music City Mom. He was a well-respected journalist, had been doing investigative reporting work there for years and years and years, but he was covering Robert Tellis, and he was starting to expose fraud. Okay. He even, there's video of the reporter doing a video interview with Robert Tellis at his office. Okay. So these two people knew each other. The journalist was accusing Robert Tellis of having inappropriate relationships with his staff. And some people in Robert Tellis's staff were whistleblowing, but also there were also some fraud claims as well. So the reporter wasn't just reporting on the sorry, my dog distracted me a little bit. He wasn't just reporting on these claims of the inappropriate relationship. he was reporting on misappropriation of funds and, using, basically he was reporting on fraud conducted by an elected official. And Robert Tellis kept asking him to, Robert Tellis was basically frantically trying to figure out how to stop this reporter from, yes, he's representing himself. We love pro se defendants, Stacy. That's one of the reasons I'm so interested in this. Hey, Marie. Marie's been a member for 3 months. Thank you. So, so um, there's there was some undercover surveillance video taken of Robert Tellis and one of the women in his office. And I'm pretty sure that it was sent to the Las Vegas Journal Review. And that's one of the things that triggered the murder. Hey, Petunia. So one day, this guy, Jeff German, just ends up dead at his house, on the side of his house. He goes and there is surveillance footage of a van parking in front of parking down the street from the reporter's house. There's an image of a man walking over to Jeff German's house. Or a person. The person has, very much the body shape, wears the same type of clothes as Robert Tellis, but he also is, fairly well disguised. You really can't see his face or anything, but he has the same body shape and the same kind of walking gait. And, you know, that video surveillance from like a Ring camera video from a neighbor's camera that was taken on the day that Jeff German went missing, when people stopped hearing from him. And then I think it was a neighbor, pretty sure it was a neighbor who discovered the journalist dead on the side of his house. So, and this was, quite some time. This was it's taken quite some time for this case to come to fruition. So I'm looking up the date right now. Sorry, I'm just looking up. I would have had more of this information set up, but I just made a last minute decision to carry this pre-trial. Yeah, there's been a few. There's been a documentary or two about this case. I think it piqued interest because this was an elected official and a well-respected Las Vegas Review Journal reporter. The Las Vegas Review Journal has been, they're in a tough position because they have to, it's one of their own who's been murdered, but it's also their duty as a newspaper to cover what's going on in their area. So it's a really interesting position. Oh gosh. There were also other parts of the evidence are voicemail threats that Robert Tellis left for the victim. And so there's some fairly interesting, digital evidence that will be played out in this trial. The trial is supposed to start next week. This pretrial was supposed to start by now, but it hasn't. So we'll see. I guess this particular court isn't postponed in March. It was postponed in March or to postponed in March. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think you're right, Shift. Um, yeah, so he left a allegedly, left a voicemail saying, you you will die alone, and nobody will find you alone for a long and nobody will find you for a long time. That's nice. Isn't that nice? The manner of death was a stabbing, by the way. He was stabbed to death, so it was not not a gunshot. Um, right. Yep. I was highly anticipating this trial in all honesty, and I was looking, and it kept getting postponed and kept getting postponed, and here we are still waiting. But that's him sitting there with his uh, interestingly shaped head. Um, Wait till you hear this guy talk and you know represent himself. He's very self-assured. Yeah, I know, Marie. That actually, I think it's gonna be on Friday. Actually, Marie. Oh my gosh, that sound is horrible.
Ready. Your Honor, Mr. Amigo and I are ready on page 25 and 20. Lane, what page is yours on?
25 and 26 versus Ramirez.
That's correct.
Case C34712 at Fernandez.
I just gotta grab the Spanish or there's out the hall.
The interpreter is present. Will you please state your name for the record? Making their appearances.
Good morning, Your Honor. Pam Barkley on behalf of the state.
Okay, and you represent,
I represent Mr. Ramirez last year, Your Honor. He's in the back.
okay, Mr. Mingo, you represent Mr.
Miss Fernandez, yes, good morning, Your Honor.
We just need to set for trial, is my understanding. The client did waive.
Both of those, both of them.
How much time do you need?
Mr. Menino and I were discussing early summer next year. It's fine.
Okay.
Just gotta status trial readiness is going to be November 6th at 8:30 a.m. Pre-trial conference, April 15th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. Calendar call, April 29th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. Jury trial, May 5th, 2025 at 10:30. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, and I would just request that the interpreter and I can speak to my client's box.
Absolutely.
That was, sorry, May 5th. Yes, thank you.
Your Honor, sorry, I have, if that's okay, Relief Jones with Ms. McAmis, because we should be here. Thank you.
State versus Monique Jones, AC 346578. Good morning. Mr. Jones is present. He's in custody.
Good morning, Your Honor. Pam Weckerly and Michael Schwartz are on behalf of the state.
And good morning, Caitlin McAmis, bar number 126162, Crusader of the Bell's office.
Okay. Have you spoken to your client since you filed this?
So clearly what we have one of those situations where the judge is going to be hearing several different matters this morning, and Robert is just kind of in line. And so these the state and these defense attorney, appointed defense attorneys are, basically just scheduling, doing pretrial motions, or just basically scheduling they're basically holding scheduling motions for all these other defendants who are sitting in the court. So we just have to sit here and wait for Robert Tellis. And his trial is scheduled to start next week, but we'll see if anything changes based on this.
There's some mental health records that, from Lakes Crossing that we thought we had, we didn't. I spoke with the state about that, so that should be a quick turnaround. And then there's some Social Security stuff that we're still waiting on, and so I was going to ask for 2 more weeks to have a better update on some of the longer ones, like the mental out.
Chopper, I didn't think that was a question as to whether he was going to represent himself. I thought he's always maintained he was going to represent himself, and that he just had a lawyer for counsel, just as a side counsel, but he's always going to be representing himself in this trial. So I don't know, maybe I'm out.
We need to get more record production.
Okay.
Continued status check is going to be August 21st at 8:30 a.m.
Your Honor, the last one we have that's quick is James Holmes with Mr.
AC 368820. Good morning. He is present in custody.
Yeah, I mean, things change all the time, right? I watched Sarah Boone's pretrial hearing the other day. Was it yesterday, the day before? And it was not live, so I didn't stream it. But I just watched it, and she it was interesting. She really, it's frustrating to hear someone try to talk to a judge without having an understanding of how court procedure works. It's so, and her voice doesn't match her persona. It's interesting.
No.
Scheduling issue.
Well, I'm glad you're back.
So we can call Carter and get that.
State versus Carter, PC 353883. Good morning. He is present and he's in custody. Who's the district?
Already saw that.
Mr. Henders,
He's out in the hall, he's out talking to talking to the TV on Rapple.
I don't know, every time I've looked at him, seen him interact with people, he's just one of those people that appears to be in his own world.
On behalf of Mark Carter, also as a FUMO president. Your Honor, we have been meeting, we seem to be on track and gearing up for the March 2025 trial date. We're still working on our experts, but we've got a lot of them doing their parts. So that's our status.
Nothing at this point is going to prevent us from going forward.
Nothing that we see here.
Anticipating, right?
Continued status check is going to be November 6th at 8:30 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
So clearly, proper.
Who else has Mr. Hammer on the DA side?
I did, Your Honor. Mine's good. Page 19.
He just comes across to me as this person who operates in his own elite, magnificent bubble of wonderfulness about himself. There's literally nothing you could tell the man about himself that he would believe in a negative. Anything negative you could say to him that he would believe about himself. He has like this protective bubble around him.
I spoke with Ms. Radasta about the writ. We anticipate starting on TELUS on Monday, so we were just asking for a little more time. She didn't have any objections. I think we previously even asked this for the defense as well, to have a little extra time so they can get something filed, or at least argument on it. So if we could just have 30 days, I think that's what we talked about, right?
I think, yeah, if we could do the argument, maybe I think like the second week of September would give Mr. Hamner about 30 days to file a written response. He can get it sometime that week before.
Set for hearing.
Hearing is going to be on September 12th at 8:30 a.m.
Hey, how are you as far as getting ready for trial?
Working towards it, Your Honor. Obviously, kind of depending on what happens with the writ, it'll determine, if we have as many charges to be, because some of them it's a little scattered in this particular case. There's separate allegations, separate residences, things like that. So, but at this point, I anticipate we would be ready for a February trial. Unless there's some new discovery that is turned over, but as of right now, I think I have everything the state has.
So they briefly mentioned TELUS, but I think it was just in regards to scheduling, to figure out when to schedule this other trial.
Continued status check is going to be November 6th at 8:30 a.m.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Johnson. Oh, can we call TELUS now?
Yeah, I'm ready
Is that
for
right,
it.
everybody here? State versus TELUS, C
All right.
368-935. He's present, he's in custody. Okay, good morning.
Morning, Robert Drask, on his behalf.
Good morning, Your Honor. Pam Markley and Chris Younger on behalf of the state.
He's being represented.
1.1 on behalf of the Review Journal, and present via Zoom is Ashley Kissinger.
Is she have to sign in under your name?
I guess so.
Okay. Good morning.
They have a
All
lawyer
right,
from the newspaper there.
Can we have an update?
Yeah.
We are still on track to produce by August 12th, beginning of the trial date.
So the first day of trial.
Yes, Your Honor, which is, I think, Monday.
Yeah, that's right.
That's Monday.
Okay,
We,
well, how's that gonna affect, I mean, it doesn't look like it was starting on Monday.
Yeah, depending upon what's exactly going to be turned over at this time, obviously we want to keep our trial date and we want to
Sure.
proceed. What time does Your Honor generally begin jury selection? What time does Your Honor plan on beginning jury selection?
I mean, Right, we already have our panel because we did
Yes.
the questionnaire,
Correct.
so we could,
What time would be present with the potential jurors?
right, we would probably have to start at 11 a.m. on Monday. Or, I mean, we could start earlier and then just take a break for that hearing. I have a hearing set at 10:30.
Could you start perhaps at 1 o'clock on Monday? I think
Sure, I mean, do you need to start in the afternoon?
I think that would be better given the current circumstances.
Right, maybe you guys can get the documents and then be prepared to inform the court whether you can proceed.
Yeah, are they producing Monday morning? Because or Monday at 5.
So,
Question,
so our plan is to produce on Monday morning.
okay, are you gonna come here and produce them here? How are they gonna be produced?
So when we produce the information from the laptop, I dropped them off at everyone's respective offices. I was prepared to do the same thing for the laptop.
Okay,
We will be flying in an expert to review everything in short matter. So, I mean, he's arriving over the weekend, so yeah, Monday morning would be obviously preferable.
okay, then we can just continue our matter till Monday at 1 o'clock. And then we can make a determination as to how we're gonna proceed and whether we start with jury selection. Okay, how many witnesses does the state have and how long do you think it will take?
We have about 20 witnesses. We think we will finish, well, it kind of depends on jury selection and this timing a little bit, but I believe we'll be done with our case at the end of the day on Friday.
So about 5 judicial days?
Yes.
We have at least a dozen witnesses noticed up. We have potential expert witnesses. I would anticipate our case in chief lasting well into the next week. So,
Okay, so 10 days,
correct.
all right, and the attorneys that are gonna be trying the case, they're all here today?
Mr. Horvath will be accompanying me. He's covering other matters, but yes, for the state.
We'll be here.
All righty, so Monday at 1 o'clock, we also have a couple of motions on. I don't know, do you wanna argue them today?
The matters have been, I'd be happy to argue on Monday, court's pleasure. Everything's been laid out, our position's laid out. These issues have been addressed in different ways previously. We just wanted to make sure that the record was complete.
Okay, and we can decide on Monday.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
We do have one other matter. I got a call yesterday. We have a licensed private investigator who predates my involvement in this case. He called me last night. He was concerned he's being denied visitation. We prepared an order. We don't have any issues. We've come this far. He needs to have access to my client during regular visitation hours. He was taking some paperwork, legal paperwork. He was denied access. To be honest, this can't happen, especially now.
Well, what was the reason?
They just said that certain investigators, certain private investigators are not to have access, contact visits with defendants, which obviously is violative of the Department of Justice guidelines. I
Have
haven't,
you been going to the jail?
he has been up until yesterday, yes. And obviously, with all that's going on, obviously I need the investigator, a licensed investigator, we don't have access
Who
to
is
my
it?
client, Rick Frankie. I have an order that's prepared, I showed it to the state, that just says that he's to have access to my client, to our client during business, during the non-lockdown hours.
He's been going over there routinely and
He has been, yes,
just yesterday,
correct.
no reason?
None that he was given, other than that they've now changed the policy concerning non-attorney visits. And he went there with paperwork to give Mr. Tellis.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The sound is horrible, but from what I'm gathering, the jail just arbitrarily blocked
Have you signed each one?
Or we could make copies. I would
Tellis's private investigator from visiting him in jail.
go to the jail with a file stamp copy.
Is that part of your evidence against him, Chopper, that he called?
Want to make sure you get announcement.
Is that part of the state's evidence? Ladies and gentlemen, this man is bald.
Anyone else ready?
Yes, thanks. If we could, start with page 14, Mr. Garbarino. Oh, sorry.
Case C 374014. Good morning, he is present.
So now it seems like they may have moved on.
Looks like there's someone conference set.
We do. For the 20th, we have a employment conference, which we're looking forward to. And then other than that, I don't have any other discovery issues with Ms. Renee.
Yeah, it looks like they are done with the Tellez matter in court today. So all they needed to do was confirm that court starts Monday. And that the private investigator was arbitrarily blocked from being able to join him in the jail and talk to him in the jail. So I'll look into but it doesn't look like he's going pro se now. It looks like he's being represented. I'm not sure. It's very unclear what's going on here. But I'll check out the other trial and see if it piques my interest. I have some other things going on in my personal life. I may not be able to cover it, Patricia, but I'll look into it. Just so you all know, I also held my first stream on my new channel yesterday. Some of you received emails with my new channel link. I am not linking with this channel or Checkmate just to keep the algorithms clear of each other for various reasons. But if you would like an email with my if you would like an email with my new channel link, please let me. Stacy, I actually have your email address. I thought you were busy working, so I held off on sending you an email. I'm maybe too much of a courteous person. I don't like spamming people. And so I had your email address, but I didn't send you an email with my new channel because I was worried that you were busy working. So I will send you a link to the new channel. But anybody else is welcome to send me an email at checkmatehumanity@gmail.com, and I will send you a link to the new channel. And yesterday, Jen Liu and I had a very interesting conversation about Gypsy Rose and the TMZ-ification of cold-blooded murder. So I plan to continue holding streams over there and starting completely from scratch on that channel. So and let me see, do I have it here? Yeah, no, I probably shouldn't do that. Anyway, so the math thing is about Owen is a family name. My father and his father and my brother and my nephew are all called Owen, and this guy's bro is named Gary, and mine. Wow. It sounds like, those are common names in certain regions, right? So maybe they originated from the same large general region. Who knows? But wow. That's a lot of similar family names. Anyway, well, this was kind of an uneventful pre-trial for Robert Tellis, and I thought he was going to be representing himself, so I'm a little disappointed in that. But hey, you know, he deserves the best defense. He's, you know, he's on trial for murder. So I am currently planning to stream his trial. But today was the experience today of streaming this court hearing was a little bit confusing and frustrating. So I'll make a real-time decision next week, and you will see if I schedule it. But anyway, Owen, Jean, Oscar, Sean, all the same name, all John. Yeah. Anyway, it was nice to see you all this morning. I hope you're doing well, and I'm sorry, Stacy, that you're back on leave of absence with your back, and Chopper hasn't come back from asking questions in another chat. So I'm going to end the stream, and I will definitely be seeing you around on these YouTube streets. Please remember to like the stream and take care of yourselves, okay? See you all around. Bye.